Hello everyone and welcome back to another day of reading through the Bible. My name is Daniel. We're in Leviticus as we are now, 6:26, and then we're going to work our way from there. Last time, basically, God, he was laying the law down of what to do if you sin, and what is not acceptable, or what is acceptable as a way to atone for said sins. So we're going to kind of back up and then go forward again. And then keep it rolling. Again, it's just off the cuff, off the chest. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of here and just doing things. But thank you, whoever is here to watch me. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and comment. Thank you so much. All right. So we're going to go back. We'll go back to 5, and then we'll work our way down from there. So I think that'd be good. Actually, we'll go with 4. It's fine. No, we'll go 5. Either way. Okay. Oh, no, you should go with 4. Okay, it doesn't matter. Then if he has sinned and is guilty, he shall restore what he took by robbery, or what he got by extortion, or the deposit which was entrusted to him, or the lost thing which he found. Or anything about which he has sworn falsely, he shall not only restore in full, but he shall add 1/5 more. He shall give it to the whom it belongs on the day of his guilt offering. Then he shall bring it to the priest, his guilt offering, to the Lord, a ram without blemish from the flock, as valued by you as a guilt offering. The priest shall make atonement for him before the Lord, and he will be forgiven for any of those things which he may have done to incur guilt. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the burnt offering. The burnt offering shall remain on the hearth that is on the altar all night until morning, and the fire is to be kept burning on the altar. The priest is to put on his linen robe with his linen undergarments next to his body. Then he shall take up the ashes of the burnt offering which the fire has consumed on the altar, and put it beside the altar. Then he shall take off his garments and put on something else, and take the ashes outside the camp to a ceremonial clean place. The fire on the altar shall be kept burning; it shall not be allowed to go out. The priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and he shall arrange the burnt offering on it, and offer the fat portions of the peace offerings up in smoke on it. The fire shall be burning continually on the altar; it shall not be allowed to go out. It's very important that it doesn't go out. Now this is the law of the grain offering. The sons of Aaron shall present it before the Lord in front of the altar. One of them shall take up from it a handful of fine flour for the grain offering, with its oil and all the incense that is on the grain offering. He shall offer it up in smoke on the altar, a sweet and soothing aroma, as a memorial offering to the Lord. What is left of it, Aaron and his sons are to eat. It shall be eaten as unleavened bread in a holy place. They are to eat it in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. It shall not be baked with leaven, which represents corruption or sin. I have given it as their share of my offerings by fire. It is most holy, like the sin offering and the guilt offering. Every male among the sons of Aaron may eat it as his share. It is a permanent ordinance throughout your generations, from offerings by fire to the Lord. Whatever touches them will become consecrated, which is ceremonially clean. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, This is the offering which Aaron and his sons are to present to the Lord on the day when he is anointed, the 10th of an ephah of fine flour as regular grain offering, half in the morning and half of it in the evening. It shall be prepared with oil on a griddle. When it is well stirred, you shall bring it. You shall present a grain offering in baked pieces as sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord. The priest from among the sons of Aaron who is anointed in the place shall offer it. By a permanent statute, it shall be entirely offered up in smoke to the Lord. So every grain offering of the priest shall be burned entirely. It shall not be eaten Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering. The sin offering shall be killed before the Lord in the same place where the burnt offering is killed. It is most holy. The priest who offers it for sin shall eat it. It shall be eaten in a holy place in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. So these are some pretty strict rules. Whatever touches its meat will become consecrated. When all of its blood splashes on the garment, you shall wash what is splashed on it in a holy place. Also, the earthenware vessel in which it was boiled shall be broken. And if it was boiled in a bronze vessel, then that vessel shall be scoured and rinsed with water. Every male amongst the priests may eat this offering. It is most holy. But no sin offering from which any of the blood is brought into the tent of meeting to make atonement in the holy place shall be eaten. It shall be completely burned in the fire. So I guess it makes it unclean when it has the blood, I assume. It's very unclean. That's what I'm gathering. This is the law of the guilt offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering, they are to kill the guilt offering. And he shall sprinkle its blood around the altar. Then he shall offer it all of its fat, the fat tail, the fat of the covers the entrails, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them, and the loins, the lobe of the liver, which he shall remove with the kidneys. The priest shall offer them up in smoke of the altar as an offering by fire to the Lord. It is a guilt offering. Every male among the priests may eat it. It shall be eaten in a holy place. It is most holy. The guilt offering is like the sin offering. There is one law for both of them. The priest who makes atonement with it shall have it for himself. The priest who presents any man's burnt offering shall have it for himself, the hide of the burnt offering which he was presented. Likewise, every grain offering that is baked in the oven, and everything that is prepared in a pan, or on a griddle, shall belong to the priest who presents it. Every grain offering, mixed with olive oil or dry, all the sons of Aaron may have, one as well as another. So you can have the grain. Anybody can have the grain, right? All the sons of Aaron can have the grain, but only the priests can have the meat, if it comes to it. If one offers it as sacrificial meal of thanksgiving, then along with the sacrifice of thanksgiving he shall offer unleavened cakes mixed with oil, and 11 wafers spread with oil, and cakes of fine flour mixed with oil. With the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving, he shall present his offering with cakes of leavened bread. Of this he shall present 1 cake from each offering as a contribution to the Lord. It shall bring to the priest who sprinkles the blood of the peace offerings. So like a gift. Here's a gift. Thank you. Thank you, and I'm sorry. The meat of the sacrifice of thanksgiving presented as a peace offering shall be eaten on the day that is offered. None shall be left until morning. But if the sacrifice of his offering is a vow of a free will offering, it shall be eaten on the day that his offer is his sacrifice. And on the next day, that which remains of it may be eaten. Oh, so I see. Okay. But what is left over from the meat of the sacrifice on the 3rd day shall be completely burned in the fire. Well, that makes sense. There's no way to preserve it. So you can't really do it anyway. If any of the meat of the sacrifice of his peace offerings is ever eaten on the 3rd day, then it will not be accepted, and the one who brought it will not be credited with it. It shall be an offensive thing. The one who eats it shall bear his own guilt. The meat that comes in contact with anything that is unclean shall not be eaten. It shall be burned in the fire. As for other meat, everyone who is ceremonially clean may eat it. But the one who eats the meat from the sacrifice of peace offerings, which belong to the Lord, in his uncleanliness, that person shall be cut off from his people. excluding him from the atonement made for them. When anyone touches any unclean thing, human uncleanliness, or unclean animal, or unclean detestable. There we go. And make sure. Your thing, and then eats the meat of the sacrifice of the Lord's peace offerings, that person shall be cut off from his people. Wow. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, You shall not eat any fat from an ox, a sheep, or a goat. The fat of an animal which dies of natural causes, and the fat of one that is torn into pieces by a predator, may be put to other use. But under no circumstances are you to eat it. For whoever eats the fat of the animal from which an offering by fire is presented to the Lord, that person who eats it shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, you are not to eat any blood of any kind, whether of bird or animal, in any of your dwelling places. Whoever eats any blood, that person shall be cut off from his people. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, He who offers a sacrifice of his peace offerings to the Lord shall bring his offering to the Lord from the sacrifice of his peace offerings. Okay? With his own hands he is to bring offerings by fire to the Lord. He shall bring the fat with the breast, so that the breast may be presented as a wave offering before the Lord. The priest shall offer up the fat in smoke on the altar, but the breast shall be for Aaron and his sons. You shall give the right thigh to the priest as a contribution for the sacrifices of your peace offerings. The son of Aaron who offers the blood of peace offerings and the fat shall have the right thigh as his portion. For I have taken the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the heave offering from the Israelites, from the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and I have given them, Aaron the priest, and to his sons as their perpetual portion from the Israelites. This is the consecrated portion from the offerings by fire to the Lord, that was designated for Aaron and his sons on the day he presented them to serve as priests to the Lord. The Lord commanded this to be given to the priests by the Israelites on the day that he anointed them. It is their portion perpetually throughout their generations. That's interesting. Just going to back up just a little bit. Okay. So the Israelites perpetually will offer this offering to all of the sons of Aaron, always. So, is it still happening today? I don't know. I'd be interested to know, because if it's in here, it's law, right? That's how I look at it. Don't do things that are bad, and then Israelites owe Aaron forever. Owe Aaron's family forever, perpetually. This is the law of the burnt offering, the grain offering, the sin offering, the guilt offering, the consecration offering, and the sacrifice of peace offerings, which the Lord commanded Moses at Mount Sinai on the day he commanded the Israelites to present their offerings to the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. So he told this to Moses 40 days, 40 nights. That's what it said back here and a couple pages back. 40 days and 40 nights. He must have a really good memory, or did. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments which are symbols of their office, and the anointing oil, and the bowl of the sin offering, and the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread, and assemble the entire congregation at the doorway of the tent of meeting. Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the congregation was assembled at the doorway of the tent of meeting. Moses said to the congregation, This is what the Lord has commanded us to do. Then Moses brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water. He put the undertunic on Aaron, tied the sash around him, clothed him in the robe, and put the ephod on him. He tied the skillfully woven band of the ephod around him, with which he secured it to Aaron. Moses then put the breastpiece on Aaron And he put in the breastpiece the Urim and the sacred articles the high priest used when seeking God's concerning the nation. I don't want to ruin those words. I imagine all of this stuff that he had to wear was quite heavy and very hot. He also put the turban on Aaron's head, and on it, in the front, Moses placed the golden plate, the holy crown, just as the Lord had commanded him. Then Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that was in it and consecrated them. He sprinkled some of the oil on the altar 7 times and anointed the altar and all its utensils in the basin and its stand to consecrate them. Then he poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head and anointed him to consecrate him. Next, Moses brought Aaron's sons forward to put under tunics on them, belted them with sashes, and bound caps on them, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he brought the bull for sin offering, and Aaron and his son laid their hands on the head of the bull. Next, Moses killed it and took the blood with his finger, put some of it around the horns of the altar, and purified it from sin. Then he poured out the rest of the blood at the base of the altar and consecrated it to make anointment for it. He took all the fat that was on the entrails and the lobe of the liver and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses offered them up in smoke on the altar. But the bull, the sin offering, and its hide, its meat, and its refuse he burned in the fire outside the camp, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. So at least he's not going against the word, because I imagine if he did, it would be not good for him. He brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his son laid their hands on the head of the ram. Moses killed it and sprinkled the blood around the altar. When he had cut the ram into pieces, Moses offered up the head, the pieces, and the fat in smoke. After he had washed the entrails and the legs in water, Moses offered up the whole ram in smoke on the altar. It was a burnt offering for a sweet and soothing aroma, an offering by fire to the Lord, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he brought the second ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his son laid their hands on the head of the ram. Moses killed it and took some of its blood and put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. He also brought Aaron's sons forward and put some of the blood on the lobes of their right ears, and their thumbs on their right hands, and their big toes of their right feet. And Moses sprinkled the rest of the blood around the altar. He took the fat tail, all the fat that was on the entrails, the lobe of the liver, and the 2 kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh. And from the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, a cake of oiled bread, and 1 water, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat and on the right thigh. And he put all these things in Aaron's hands and his son's hands, and presented them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then Moses took these things from their hands and offered them up in smoke on the altar with the burnt offering. They were consecration offering for a sweet and soothing aroma, and offering by fire to the Lord. Moses also took the breast and presented it as a wave offering before the Lord. It was Moses' portion of the ram of consecration, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. So Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood which was on the altar, and sprinkled it on Aaron and his garments, and also his son and their sons and their garments with him. So Moses consecrated Aaron and his garments, and his sons garments with him. Then Moses said to Aaron and his sons, "Boil the meat at the doorway of the tent of meeting, and eat it there together with the bread that is in this basket of the consecration offering, just as I have commanded," saying, "Aaron and his sons shall eat it." So it looks like everything's starting to come together for everybody. I'm going to finish this up real quick, and then we'll stop. "And what remains of the meat and the bread you shall burn in the fire. You shall not go outside the doorway of the tent of meeting for 7 days, until the days of your consecration are ended, for it will take 7 days to consecrate you, as has been done this day. So the Lord has commanded to do you for your atonement. You shall remain day and night for 7 days at the doorway of the tent of meeting, doing what the Lord has required you to do, so that you will not die. For so I, Moses, have been commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all the things which the Lord had commanded through Moses. 7 days to get consecrated. Excuse me.